Welcome, listeners, to the Mindful Living podcast with your host, Sana, where we dive deep into the inspiring stories of resilience, growth, and transformation. Well, today we have a truly extraordinary guest with us, Holly Francis, whose story will leave you moved and motivated. Holly is a writer, speaker, illness survivor, and advocate who has turned her medical nightmare of battling Guillain-Barré syndrome (GBS) into a powerful crusade to help others. She's also the author of Life Support: Surviving Guillain-Barré Syndrome, a heart-wrenching yet empowering memoir about overcoming adversity and creating the life of your dreams. From her viral recovery videos to her passion for fitness and advocacy, Holly has inspired millions worldwide. So, listeners, get ready to uncover the gifts in life's challenges and learn how to rewrite your story with strength and purpose. Holly, welcome to the show, and it's an absolute honor having you with us today.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm thankful that I'm on and be able to bring awareness to GBS.
Absolutely. Holly, of course, your story is so inspiring. So, can you share with us the moment, I mean, if it's okay with you, when you realized you could turn your battle with GBS into a mission to help others?
So when I went through everything that I did, I was hospitalized at the age of 26. I went from being completely healthy. I was a brand new mom, and then suddenly diagnosed with a rare disease that I'd never heard of, hospitalized, put on a ventilator in ICU, and I didn't really believe that I was ever going to get out of there. I didn't believe that I was ever going to be able to get back to my baby. I had a newborn daughter at home. And, I thought I was going to die in that hospital room. I was on a ventilator for a very long time, and there was just no hope. And when I recovered, my recovery was a long journey, but once I recovered and I realized that, there was hope, that that just changed my entire life. It changed my view on the world. And I knew that there was other people that not only go through GBS. I mean, GBS is a rare disease, but it is still common enough that it happens to people all around the world. And people are hospitalized with it, and they're dealing with issues with it. And family members don't know, what it is and how to deal with it. And so I knew that my story could help inspire other people going through it and help family members understand the disease. And then on top of that, I knew that my story of just, being completely paralyzed in ICU for as long as I was, to overcoming it, would inspire people to remember that, life is challenging and it's hard, but if I can go from where I went to where I am today, then so can you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, thank you so much for sharing this, and very inspiring once again, Holly. And you have faced incredible adversity. Um, what mindset, what practices you push through uh, those darkest days, and how did you find hope in your recovery?
I think I found hope in multiple things. One was my daughter. Obviously, she was there by my side as a newborn, and that was just that inspiration to get back to her. I knew that I'd always wanted to be a mother since I was a little girl, and so that was, my why. She was my reason to keep fighting through those really hard days. Another big motivator was another GBS patient. So I always tell people, no matter what struggle it is that you're going through in your life, there are other people out there who've likely been through what you've been through too, and they've overcome it. And so they can help you, and they can help you through those dark days. So I had a GBS patient that had recovered, and he actually brought me a sign, and the sign said, courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's the quiet voice at day's end saying, I will try again tomorrow. And that sign was such a huge motivator for me just to remind myself that, even on the hard days, you're not going to feel like you're strong and capable and that you're going to get through it. But if you promise yourself that you'll just try again tomorrow, then you can, get up in the morning again and just say, I'm just going to keep going. And that's really how I've got to where I am today, is by pushing through the hard days and promising myself to never ever give up.
Mm, that was really, really a beautiful quote. Really beautiful quote.
Hmm.
Um, Also, writing a memoir, it's such a vulnerable process. What was it like reliving your journey, Holly, while writing life support? And what do you hope readers take away from your book?
Yeah, it was definitely a very heart-wrenching experience to go back and write about what I went through, especially after I'd recovered. And you think I never have to relive that again, and then I did. I was very fortunate in a way that my mom was there with me every moment, and she had videotaped me. So while I was sedated a lot of the time or heavily medicated and didn't always remember every moment, I had a lot of videos that I could look back on. And it was heartbreaking. It was such a challenge for me to watch those videos back and to see what I went through and remind myself what I went through. But I think it was so important and really helped me with my writing, because not only could I piece back the memories when I was there, but I could actually watch the video and I could see, and it helped me be able to write and bring the reader right into the journey with me. So I've had a lot of people tell me that, like I felt like I was right there with you in ICU. And I think a lot of people will take that away, as they'll understand not only what it's like to go through GBS, but also, what it's like to be in the hospital, what it's like to deal with health issues, and just, all these things that you don't think will ever happen to you. It
Mhm.
just kind of opens people's mind to the things that can happen in the blink of an eye.
True, true. And talking about your recovery videos, they have gone viral, touching millions worldwide. So, how has social media played a role in your advocacy, and what does it mean to connect with others, complete strangers, and uh, also in similar situations?
Yeah, social media has played a huge part, and I'm so grateful for it. And that's one, social media gets a bad rap a lot of the time, but I think that's one thing that we can look at, is that it can bring people together. When I was going through GBS in the hospital, when I was first diagnosed, having never even heard of GBS, never couldn't even pronounce it like most people can't when they first hear it. I thought that I was the only person in the world with this. They told me, it's a rare disease, and I thought that I was like one in a billion people. But I later found out, once I got better, that I wasn't. There was a lot of people in the world that had it. It affects about 2 out of every 100,000 people. So there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people all over the world that have either been through it or are newly diagnosed. And
Right.
when I was able to find people like that on social media, at first, through YouTube videos, through hashtags, through books that other people had written, I realized that I was not alone. There was this entire community of people around the world who'd been through what I had been through as well. And that's really ultimately why I wanted to share my story with other people, just to give other people hope, that to show them, if I can recover from GBS, then so can you, and you have to keep fighting. And I just hope that, my book helps to inspire people and helps educate people, especially those that are dealing with it themselves and don't know much about it.
Mm, right, right. And fitness seems to be a big part of your life right now. How did health and wellness become part of your healing journey, and what advice do you have for others who are looking to rebuild after physical or emotional challenges?
Yeah, so for me, I wasn't really into exercise prior to my case of GBS. I never really went to the gym or anything like that. It wasn't a part of my lifestyle. But then when I was recovering and I was learning how to walk again, I had to learn how to basically use my entire body all over again. I realized the power of our bodies, and to see myself go from complete paralysis from basically the neck down for 3 months and then slowly regaining strength and getting stronger a little bit more each day through physiotherapy, I realized, how strong our bodies are and how incredible our bodies can recover. And I started to get into exercise a little bit more and more. And gradually over time, I just really realized how much better it made me feel and both physically and emotionally. And I think it is such an important piece of people's lifestyles, whether you're dealing with a health issue or not. But I think, part of it is it'll help you get stronger if you're working on exercise all the time, not only physically but mentally as well, because you're working towards goals, and when you're reaching those goals, you just feel so accomplished and proud of yourself. And physically, I mean, it helps with so much. It helps with pain relief, and for me, like, I deal with a lot of residuals, a lot of fatigue, nerve pain, muscle spasms, muscle weakness, and so exercise has been such a huge improvement on those areas.
Of course, of course. I mean, that's a really wonderful, and I think eh, when we talk about life, the body which has been given to us, our mind. Normally, we don't express gratitude towards all of it, which has been given to us as a gift. So, looking back on everything you have been through, Holly, what's the biggest lesson you have learned about life? And, I think the resilience with which you fought and you came out of it, and you are in your healing journey, you're helping others as well. How do you incorporate that into your daily life today?
Yeah, I think gratitude, as you said, is definitely the biggest thing that I took out of that experience, and just trying to find the gifts and learning the things, the positives out of that experience. When I look back on my journey in the hospital. I mean, I was hospitalized for all over 126 days. My daughter was almost 6 months old by the time I got home. And when I first got home, I was very upset. I was very down about missing so much time with her. I missed so much of my daughter's, the first 6 months of her life. And I missed out on her first smile, taking her for walks, changing diapers, breastfeeding, all this kind of stuff. And so I was down for quite a while, just feeling very depressed over it. But then as time went on, I was able to look at the gifts that I got from it. So, gratitude for getting to be able to change her diaper again. It was such a simple task that I had to relearn how to do. I had to re-strengthen my hands to be able to actually change her diaper. At one point, I couldn't even hold her bottle. Eventually, I was strong enough where I could, cock the bottle up against my wrist and feed her. And then eventually I could lift her in my arms. So just this
Mhm.
huge gratitude that I could do these things again. So now I'm grateful that I can walk and I can talk and I can breathe again and breathe on my own. And these are just little simple things that most people take for granted. And so that's really the gifts that I see from that journey, as well as being able to share my journey with other people, and help inspire them. So it's crazy to think, but I honestly look back on my entire experience as one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Wow, that is really, really empowering. And I think this should go as the biggest takeaway from this conversation for our listeners. And also, one question crops up in my mind. So, helping others, through advocacy, it can be rewarding. It is. But, it can sometimes also be emotionally draining. Um,
Mm.
how do you manage the demands of being a public figure in the GPS community while also ensuring you prioritize your own well being and recovery?
It's been a challenge, to be honest. Ever since my book came out, there's
Mm.
been more and more people that are reaching out to me, and it has been so hard because I want to reply to every single person.
Exactly.
Because it breaks my heart when somebody reaches out and says, hey, my family member is in ICU right now, please help, or can you give me advice? And it has been a challenge because many times, I've put the priority on replying everybody, which is just not possible all the time. So, I've had to realize that I have to, put myself first so that I can help other people. And that's another reason why, I put the book together, was so that, all the information that I have, all the answers that I could provide are really in my book. And I go into so much detail about it. And so that's a way that I've been able to, help other people through reading.
It's really thoughtful and very, very creative. And Holly, thank you so much for this beautiful and heartfelt conversation. Of course, if our listeners, they would like to check your memoir, Life Support, and also would like to connect with you, how they can do that.
Yeah, so my book Life Support is on most major retailers, but Amazon is probably the easiest to find it. And then if you want to connect with me through my website, you can track me down through basically all of my social media. I've got my email address. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, kind of all over the place. So it's kind of just preference and what kind of platform you want to reach out. But my website is hollyfrancis.com.
Great. We'll have all the details mentioned in the show notes. And Holly, thank you so much for sharing your journey of surviving Guillain-Barré syndrome and finding purpose through adversity. I think it's more than inspirational than it ever can be. So thank you. I mean, for your courage, your determination, and passion for helping others through this difficult, challenging process. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
So, listeners, don't forget to check out Holly's memoir, Life Support. You can refer the show notes along with this episode. And thank you to all of you for joining us on this inspirational conversation on the Mindful Living podcast. And as Holly says, every challenge is an opportunity to grow and create the life you deserve. So, until next time, stay mindful and keep thriving, and take care of yourself and your loved ones. Thank you.